All right. We are live. We're good to go. Finishing this game today. Humor, am I right? Yeah. Peel off the days of the calendar. I put a high voltage electric fence around my house. My neighbor is dead against it. What do you call an Instagram star who has fallen ill? An influenza. That one's bad. Where or wherever you're from in the world, when you're using the bathroom, European. God, that was... Some of these are really bad. To be frank, I'd have to change my name. Most puns make me feel numb, but math puns make me feel number. And finally, you need to do more chores around the house. Can we change the subject? Okay, more chores around the house need to be done by you. That's a fun English grammar joke. Did not hear about the leak. Um... Let's just say Typhlosion got a couple tips from his boy Diddy. I don't understand what you're saying, to be honest. Whoops. Well. Reaches you expect winter 11. Freezing at night. So it snows, but I always imagine it warmer in winter. Script and text entry for television has him disguise himself as a human, meet a young girl, and force her to... What the fuck? Yeah, not what you'd expect. Anyway, what's up? Not too much. Just had some work today. And then had to tell my office that what they said they were going to pay me for the last pay period wasn't enough. They were short $40, and they're like, well, it's too late. I'm like, cool, you suck. They're always like, in their defense, this is like the earliest that they've ever sent me like my pay stuff, for me to go and like audit before it gets sent out. But I just didn't have the time to get around to it. But they're always like, you know, review it and like let us know if there's anything wrong by tomorrow morning. And I emailed them this morning, like late in the morning, but like still this morning, to be like, hey, you gave me credit for this inspection and I didn't do it, but you didn't give me credit for these other inspections, which I did do. So you owe me $40. And they're like, well, we already sent it out. I'm like, well, cool. Why tell me to let you know by the morning if you're just going to send it out early? Cut back into regulation age competitive again. Felt like using Scoville because I really like him. They screwed him over so bad, not making a 3-stage. Also granted, why not? Relatively standard Sun team otherwise. Do you feel like there should have been a stage after Scoville or before, an extra stage before Scoville? Fastest 9 possible traverse, and the heavy snow's hard on the horse and me. Happy Advent. Recall. Fade. Think of a 3 pipper head dude and go from because he's only got 475 BST or something. When does he evolve? Because that's a lot of the times why those base stat totals are the way they are. It's always something to like, it's just like I always try to keep in mind when I think and talk about Pokemon, especially in like how good they are. It's like bug types are bad later. They're usually really good early. Okay, to hide that was cool. I mean, I'd be down to see some more stuff, and it'd be cool like 30 something. That's a little late for a 475 BST Pokemon, but 475 BST is not bad either. There's plenty of usable Pokemon in that range. I don't know what Scovillen's stat spread is. Take no offense to Baron's murder. To stay in a judgment of others range. It's out. One of my favorite Gen 9 mod. It's a good mod. Like, especially if it's a Pokemon where it's like, its base attack, like its attack is dog shit, but its special attack is really high or something like that. Like Chansey's like, and Blissey's always like an extreme example, but there's no better special tank than Chansey and Blissey in most games. So it seems a more relevant question is if the architect number is too large. Recall if the artist testified. Serpent is link coil. I guess again every few years. Station you're killing. Fear that finding the answer to that question might draw you into its reach. Hurry to determine to find the source of the trouble. I believe you must inquire with your neighbors. Urge caution in your investigation of this matter. If the serpent merely sleeps, it may be dangerous to poke into its old resting places. I hope this has been of some help to you. God bless you and keep you safe. Use a firestone. So you could act like it being a stone evolution. Then I don't mind that as much, especially because you usually can get stones like in the low to mid 20s, and like pushing 500 BST at that point in the game is pretty good. Just not bulky. Yeah. He's not fast either, is he? Like, I don't think Scoville is slow. Yeah, 75 speed is fine. It's like pretty mid, right? It's actually like upper to mid, I feel like. I always feel like 90 speed is really good. Obviously, you got like 110s and 100s and stuff like that, but is 75 speed that slow? I was thinking about all the stuff I would have to do if I wanted to like 100% this game, because I only have like a little over a third of the achievements, and like it definitely requires. I would have to do 2 more playthroughs. I'm like, god damn, at least 2 more playthroughs. What's its SPDF? Or is the, yeah, what's the SPDF? Not bulky, but fire grass. It's only weak to flying rock and poison. Not very common types. True. SPDF is 65. Ugh. So it's really like just a yeah, its defenses are bad. It's not bulky. Mid speed. I mean, it definitely feels like a Pokemon that you're like meant to use. It definitely feels like a Pokemon you're meant to use in the middle of the game when like you are like when that power spike really matters, when like the Pokemon you're fighting are in like the low 400s or something like that of stat totals, like Gym 3 or like maybe into Gym 4 depending on the game. But these are rare purple. I've seen in a few other books. Yeah, I prefer when they have Pokemon like that, where like the stat totals like in that like 450 to 500-ish range, that they do something like, you know, make it like drop one of the attacking stat, like make it a better like special attacker or something like that, and then just like, you know, reallocate those stats somewhere else. Because I feel like it makes for a more balanced Pokemon that is just more usable, but maybe at least 510. I don't think it needs to. I don't think it needs a higher stat total. Like, all right, looking stuff up. So like Golem, Flapple, Appleton, Beartick, Bombirdier. Like, there's a lot of good Pokemon at 45 BST, but their stats are just reallocated so differently. Spiritomb, though, that's a much more of a typing thing. Staraptor has a 45 BST. It's just a classic thing of like, it's just a thing of like, you know, it doesn't have a niche or a niche. Fuck. Final evolution, yeah, but I doubt who an evolution is. I mean, if they were to give it an evolution to only increase its BST like 25 points is pretty rough. I feel like it would need to get to at least like 540 to like even really be worth it. Or have just like a really kick-ass ability. Like, why is Scoville not in the list of Pokemon with a BST of 45? That's 486. That's why. God damn it. Fucking. That's really funny. It gets Moody. I don't like Moody, personally. Like, I think, I mean, it already has Chlorophyll. I think Chlorophyll's fine. One of the things that bugs me about, as I'm looking at it, right? Like, one of the things that would bother me about the way its stats are allocated is, if you're gonna have something give attack EVs, I firmly believe it should have a higher attack stat. So I wasn't paying attention. Oh. Moody's a double-edged sword because you get buffed, it also nerfed, and you don't know it's going to be nerfed. Chlorophyll's more consistent. But yeah, like Moody is it's one like if you're not running a chlorophyll team, Moody's fine, right? Like, and like I've had Moody in game like on Pokemon both on my team and that I was also against like really go off and and also just like fall completely flat. It just happens. It's kind of the risky run. It's one of those things where like Moody is a terrifying ability in Nuzlocke, right? Because it's like if you get a Pokemon with Moody, super inconsistent. If you're against a Pokemon with Moody, like it could turn into a real problem really fast. Run folk ritual first time in which townsfolk dresses Perkton and drive the spirits from the town to project it in the coming new year. Okay, last part of the mural. This is going to see my investigation. Many of the participants and witnesses. Agnes Steinauren. About to remember this car's husband right in the middle of everything. Task her as well. People gathering at the Golden Hand to prepare for the Christmas feast. Some might have memories what happened. Got Talonflame as Tailwind Setter, Torkoal for Sun, Scovillain for damage, and also kind of novelty bias, Whimsicott for support, and Sunny Day backup, Garganackle for bulk, Greninja for priority, Duran's Terrafire, Terrablast. Not a great person to get opinions on, so terrifying. Terrifying. Yo. Agnes, you're old. You remember what happened? Yes. I mean, you did competitive for a while. Plus, I did the unthinkable and joined the nerds over at Smogon to ask for opinions, and I got fucking cold-shouldered. Yeah, it happens. I mean, I did a little bit of competitive. A lot of the stuff I was doing was, like, weird themed teams, though. Yeah, but like Sun Team is like an actual thing. I'm talking about like, you know, a flying type only team kind of thing. Or what's another one I did? Like I did a fire type only team, but just because it was like it was a sunny day team, but only because every Pokemon was fire type. Like a variation that runs spicy extract and clear amulet. That's fun. Interesting. Okay, an old woman have her vices. Current house is a bit sad. George always gets quiet this time of year. Yeah, the family's been hard pressed ever since Peter died. It's all one with howl gouging fire paired with clear Anna Metagross. Interesting. Where is that full Andreas had the metal and everything? Didn't too much good if you ask me. Already meddled enough in testing after the Baron's murder. He had held more sway than he knew. Couldn't understand it the first time. Not to say that old monk, I dare say he saw him as a father. And it was proven the prior was a witch, so I suppose he did some good for tapping that. I think Slav might be the only person left testing who even remembers the old prior. Trouble started, I say. The bubbling sound in my ear is really getting me. The paradoxes are a no-go, and I like that. I like the past seems just fun and challenging rather than whose Urshifu moves first. Yeah, I would love at some point, and I need to pitch this to my friends to see if I would love to pitch to my friends to do like a what's it called? Like a draft league. I think PokeAim used to do those. He might still do them. Where they like pick Pokemon in the different tiers, and then they take turns drafting the Pokemon. And then so you've got like 8 total or something like that. Yeah, draft league would be hella fun. Like that kind of stuff I'm always really into. I can never just find anyone that like either wants to do it or wants to commit to making it happen. The closest I've had to that, something like that, wasn't even Pokemon related. It was my friends and I played, we played Blood Bowl 2. We had a Blood Bowl 2 league going for several weeks, and then a handful of people just fell off completely. Which meant that we couldn't even like finish the league because it required all the matches to be done. It was it was annoying. Maybe singles or doubles. Singles is mainly draft league, but doubles is more thinky and fun. I would prefer it to be doubles, because I used to be really into singles, and then the first few times I tried doing VGC formats. I was like, oh, this is harder. But it's way more interesting, and that's why it's harder to me. PokeDraft, selling this to FanDuel / DraftKings. Hey, what's up, Nathaniel? Then came the revolt. Andreas Mauer happened to show up nearly the day of his murder. We're in a riot, burning the Abbey. What could anyone do? I'm super sick? Dude, bummer. Oh, hold on. One sec. Nathaniel, you got one of these, right? From Kyle for winning the disc golf tournament. Like if you're not gonna use it, I'll buy it off you or trade it with you. L immune system, cringe. Yeah, that sucks. Are you feeling better yet, or are you still just in the middle of it? Here's the thing. So like, I got this for coming in third in a tournament we did. I like mine. I like that mine glows. I mean, they all glow, but if you like it, don't worry about it. I just was like, without having to like go shopping for it, I was like hoping I could find somewhere, because I'm thinking about putting with it. But Francesco, I came in third place in like a disc golf tournament thing we did with our friends, and that was one of the prizes I got. And I want to use it for putting, but I like to have two of the same putters when I putt, just to have a backup. But friend's cool. Yeah, I mean, you've got that one friend who, you know, took your Breath of the Wild cartridge forever, and you didn't get it back until a few months ago. The only one who knew what happened inside the old church now for the fire. Some like to say that things were... But anyway, if you like it, Nathaniel, don't sweat it. Hopefully you feel better soon. Yeah, the one that stole Breath of the Wild, yeah. Some like to say things were always this bad. Violence was the only way, but it wasn't. It got worse over the years. It wasn't like when I was a child, not my grandparents' time either. Sure, I was pinching the townsfolk and the peasants were suffering, but to go against the church? Like you said, things weren't always so bad. We fought to make things right. You guys like my surrogate friends? Never seen Peter so angry. That soldier even warned Peter, but nothing would stop him besides steel, so nothing got better at all. No, not as I see it. The Lord is just severe. See how it wasn't threatened his force at every turn. This life can struggle and die to accomplish something, and nothing changes. The dead are luckier. They died believing they changed something. We're stuck with the harsh reality. Who would get involved in draft league? Most importantly, what would your team name be? I feel like I wouldn't come up with a team name until I had drafted a team. If I was to invite people to a draft league, it would be Patrick, Tony, Steve, at least those three. My friend Will is never in this chat, but he does sometimes watch the VODs. I don't know if he watches live, but if he's watching live, he doesn't talk in chat ever. But I could ask him. I could ask my friend Nikhil. But Nikhil's usually busy when I would be streaming. Though it could just be something where we record too. Would Tony rock off with a Pichu and somehow Tony would rock up with a Pichu and somehow win? 10-10 would watch. Tony would walk up with a fucking Tyrogue. That's what he would be running. Is all known. You're used to it. We all have. Said. That didn't feel particularly helpful. Watch the hell out of that. Yeah, that might be something that's better as like a recorded video. Just to try and like make sure that we all find the time to actually get our matches in. And then Steve and Patrick and I could put it on our channels. Oh, wait, hold on. Someone's fucking around with a ladder outside. Did you get competitive? Did you rock up to events? Did you do online? I did online. Most of it I just did on, like, I did ranked. I climbed like ranked stuff on online for a little bit, and I also did I keep wanting to say Smogon, but that's not it. The online Pokemon thing. God, what's it called? I'm losing my mind today, dude. Yeah, only audience I still have until the pass is clear. Showdown, thank you. This was like 6 or 7 years ago at least. So it's been a while, but it's definitely interesting. The problem is the ADHD, and like I too easily find something else I want to do. So like I did that stuff for a few months and then just fell off of it. Oh, he's like, everyone's kind and no one's throwing something at me, so it's good. I missed the opportunity to sing at the... Seems like it. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's something like that, right? Like where I, hold on, let me just realize I'm not in the center of the frame. It's one of those things where I am in, like, I get an idea and I think it'll be a lot of fun, and then I see it to its conclusion, and that's it. So. In the past, I've been reading all this out loud. I think that's part of why it's taken me so long to get through this, so I'm just kind of going through it right now. And I bought the Mario RPG remaster, played it until the first boss. Played the original, got 5 minutes further. Whoops. Hannah, there's Killian. But yeah, I get that. I've had Octopath Traveler for years, and I continue to not make progress in that game. Nope. Interesting. I love this guy in the corner just sweeping the same spot over and over again. It's a thing you could play forever. I have a lot of games that are kind of like that. Yeah. The diversity is nice. Okay. I wish I could, like, rotate these. Oh, I can rotate these. Okay. What the fuck? How do I do this? The fuck? I don't understand what's happening with this. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this. Like I did, I spot a guy with a Hydra Apple, Flygon, a Garchomp, Dragonite, King Gambit, and Tyranitar. I hate fight, and I hate a fighting and you had a fighting and ice move? My goals are beyond your understanding. I really enjoyed when I played a lot of Showdown. Okay, so I can't get right up on them with these. Hello? I don't understand. Yo, this shit's bugging me. The only reason I give a shit is because there's an achievement for that's not what I wanted to do. I don't. Okay, good enough. Whatever. Had a fighting ice. Yes, I got there. Garnet Terror Ghost, Max, Defense, and HP, Protect, Recover, Body Press, Assault Cure. Made so many accidental reads. Terror Ghost, one guy actually rage quit. The thing I've noticed is that either everyone's internet is horrible or they're sore losers and they wait for the timer to almost run out before making their move. Yeah, I don't like hitting timers on people, but like, you know, if you're gonna take a fucking super long time or be kind of salty about it, like, you know, I'll definitely start the timer on you. That could have been better. Hello? Four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One game was a 1v1 with my healthy Garganacle versus like 5% River Room. Like, bro, it's not like you need to make a decision. It's one of the things when I judged events for Magic the Gathering, I was always just like, because there's always a question of like, hey, when do we decide that someone's taking too long? And one of the answers that I got that I always really liked was essentially like, hey, it's their deck. If you're standing over their shoulder and you've come to a conclusion about what the best move is, give it like another few seconds, and then like, and then if they can't get it by then call them. Okay. Yo, we got the achievement. Student town for the revolt and warn everyone to leave the Abbey alone. Some people wanted to talk. Mallow retired to keep the peace, but after Otto was killed. Shame how he died. Get the monastery were fond of him. Instrumental keeping the revolt from getting out of hand. He regrets not standing by him. Yes, he was. He had a personal dinner with the abbot, trying to discuss things, I believe. Pity they couldn't come to an agreement. Your father does too. Forest without a fee. Dad kept saying couldn't live with the higher taxes. That's for my boss. Not for me. What was your funniest game competitively in anything? Alternatively, did you ever have an opponent that made you want to flip the table? Maybe they're dumb or snarky assholes. I have a story where I was kind of in the wrong because I wasn't judging at this point. But so there was a guy at my local game store where he had a short temper, and he honestly didn't understand how to play his own deck. And he was like a big guy. He was like if I had to guess, like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", something like that. Much taller than me. I'm 5'11", but he was much taller than me, much bigger than me. Had a short temper, and he was playing against this girl. If I had to guess, she was either in high school or just out of high school, and she had him beat. She had him super beat. There's no way about it. And he took he was on his turn, and I stood there watching, and I waited, he sat there for and this isn't a funny story really, but this is just the first thing that popped in mind. He sat there for 30, 45 seconds, something like that, a long time, looking at his hand, and I could see his hand, and I'm like, I don't know why you're just not conceding yet. You have lost. And he was just slow playing it. And I was like, yo, dude, just make a decision. Concede or pass the turn. And he got mad. Passed the turn. I walked away. Presumably she beat him. And then he comes up after me and he's like, basically gets in my face and he's like, you need to shut your fucking mouth. And I'm like, the fuck? And he's like, you need to shut your fucking mouth. And I'm like, dude, just play the game and be a sportsman. You need to shut your mouth. He's like, and then he's did the whole meet me outside thing. And I'm like, I'm not going outside, dude. I'm just trying, I didn't say this, but I'm just trying to look out for someone who I've never seen here. And your reaction like this is exactly why I was trying to look out for this person. Fucking chill out. Common Jack W. But eventually, someone no one was really saw what was going on. There was one person who saw what was going on, and I was just an acquaintance of mine. He was a regular at the store, but we weren't friends. And he's he eventually stepped in between and was yo, just chill out. And he was yeah, he's at first I thought you guys were friends and he was just messing with you. And then he started to because at some point he started to kind of do this thing like just like kind of like get up in your space on me, and yeah, I don't. I'm like, we are not friends. Like, he's just being a piece of shit. Um, but as far as like other stuff, like, did I ever have an opponent, um, who made me want to flip the table? My friend Kyle makes me want to flip the table half the time I play with him. Um, I love Kyle. He's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. Builds interesting Magic decks. The guy cannot end the game. Like, we've had games where he's gained infinite life and he can't win the game. And it's like, God damn it. Funniest competitive moment. Um, um, things aren't usually like when I'm playing. It's not particularly funny, in my experience. I had a moment where like I was briefly on stream in a tournament and I got lit up in the chat for not just like, you know, just like not think for like trying to think about something before going. And I was like, hey, I know that, like, I've gotten blown out by a handful of cards when I go to attack today. I'm trying to be careful about it, kind of thing. So that's funny in a way. It was just annoying. Otherwise, I came in third in that tournament, which is great. But you know, it's never been more proud. Very nice. Let's see what else. The funniest stuff I have from like competitive experiences are. There was one tournament I was playing where I was like, I'm gonna play something really. I came up like I brainstormed a deck with a friend, and built it, took it to a tournament. Come to find out that there's another person at the tournament who's playing a very similar deck. Like, no one had played this deck before, and my friend and I and this other guy just like kind of coincidentally came up with very similar lists, and we ended up playing against each other in like the fourth round or something like that out of like 7. And that was very funny because it was just like it was a funny interaction of like, oh, you made this choice kind of a thing with your deck building. But most of the funny stuff from when I was around competitive like Magic or something like that was actually from the players when I was judging. Because a lot of times when you get to like the top 8 or top 4 in a Magic tournament, you can agree to split the prize pool. So that whoever, like, there are some things you can't split. Like, if there's something that has to go to the winner, like a playmat or something, or like an invitation to another tournament, you can't split those things typically. But you can split the money prize going into those before you go into those matches. And a lot of times the people that I was judging, or at the events I was judging, people did that because it's just guaranteed money at that point. And once that happens, everyone is super chill, and a lot of those people know each other really well, so they just kind of vibe and hang out a bunch. And like, I'm trying to remember, because you can ask for what we would call the oracle text on a card. So it's like on a Magic card, like there is text printed on the card, but the oracle text is what technically the card says, as just like this is what this actually means, not what it actually says, kind of a thing. Because wordings change on cards, or they reword cards after they're printed to clarify things. So you can ask for that at any time and in any language. And I've been at tables where they're like, "Hey, can I get the oracle text for this card?" And it's just super funny to me because it's just I have to do it, and they think it's super fucking funny because it's super common cards that they don't need that. Like, it's just a funny moment. Like Showdown says 10% flint chance instead of the flavor text of a move. Yeah, just exactly. You know, like, what's a good example of this? I'm trying to think of a good example, so give me just a second. What's a let me find a good example. Give me a sec. So, let me see if I can. Whoops, sorry. Give me a sec. Add source. What kind of deck were you running that the other guy had too? It was a... it was like a green, white... So his deck was green and white, and my deck was green, white, and red. And it was what we would call a Stoneforge deck. So there's a card in Magic the Gathering called Stoneforge Mystic. And Stoneforge Mystic says when it enters the battlefield... Well, those... I'm describing it to you. It, like, describing the colors narrows down what the deck does. Like, if you look at it that way. I don't, like... To my knowledge, Francesca, you haven't played a ton of... You haven't played Magic, but... give me a sec. But... so the deck ran Stoneforge Mystic, and it ran... so Stoneforge Mystic, when it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for an equipment, and you put that into your hand, and then shuffle your library. And then Stoneforge Mystic has an ability where you can pay 2 mana and tap Stoneforge Mystic to put an equipment from your hand onto the battlefield. And so you try to, like, play on-rate creatures and tempo players out of the game while using powerful equipments in Stoneforge Mystic to cheat them into play. So I had splashed red because I wanted a couple of different extra cards in there that he didn't have. But it was just interesting. Never played Magic in my life. Played Yu-Gi-Oh! A couple times. Played Pokemon on TCG Live. Yeah. So this is a good example, by the way, of a card that, like, doesn't, or that is confusing. So this is Chains of Mephistopheles. And it reads, if a player would draw a card except for the first one he or she draws in his or her draw step each turn, that player discards a card instead. If the player discards a card this way, he or she draws a card. If the player doesn't discard a card this way, he or she puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Basically, you know, except for the first card, now it says the official text is now, if a player would draw a card except for the first card they draw in each of their draw steps, that player discards a card instead. If the player discards a card this way, they draw a card. If the player doesn't discard a card this way, they mill a card. And mill is like the official term for taking a card from on top of your deck and putting it into your graveyard or your discard pile. So just like way more complicated than that needs to be. But anyway, I have a promise to help. So discard a card instead of drawing one and then draw one, I think. Yeah. And so it's just a lot of times cards with like a lot of text, and especially old cards. Chains of Mephistopheles is like a 21-year-old card, 22-year-old card. So it's just from when really early on in the game when a lot of stuff wasn't as obvious. Yeah. Well, I've stopped to talk about other stuff instead of playing the game. Magic Fire, they thought they had another revolt on their hands. As when we start getting two cards that flip and become one singular card in mana, so I get a little confused. Learning to play Magic can be really tough. It's a complicated game in a way that like other card games aren't as complicated, which makes for interesting depth in the game, which I tend to enjoy. But I can definitely understand why people get confused by it, right? Whoops. We did not help them make Christmas wreaths. We didn't do any of that shit. Most of the Magic I play these days isn't competitive. I play what we call Commander, or EDH, which stands for Elder Dragon Highlander. It's a format where you have like a commander, and originally it was Elder Dragon cards, but it's diversified since then, so now we call it. It's why the name technically has changed to Commander, but people still say EDH. And it's a style of game where you can, basically you have a legendary creature at the like as your commander for the deck, and then all the cards in the deck have to be of the same color identity. So like if your commander is like red and green, you can't have any white, black, or blue cards in the deck, or even cards that have those mana symbols on them. They can't be in the deck. And you can only have one card of each name, except for basic lands in the deck, and it's a 100-card singleton. We call it a 100-card singleton format. Like the Highlander part of it is for like the movie Highlander. There can only be one. All the cards have to be the same color. I thought Wizards woke. Yeah, I mean. There was a thing recently, it was a few years ago, where they banned a bunch of cards because they're offensive. Like Invoke Prejudice, or Crusade. There's a handful of cards that are like, sketch, in that way. Um, they're trying to be pretty woke though. They're definitely trying. Um, I'm not ever like particularly thrilled with companies that are like try really hard to do that, but I'm not like I'd rather them do that than the opposite, right? Thought the bat. I just thought of back in the day when Konami didn't have deck size limits, so one guy posted protest for showing with like a 2100. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, Magic has like Yu-Gi-Oh has a minimum deck size. Yu-Gi-Oh it's 40, and Magic it's 60, unless you're playing like a draft format or something like that. And then in what's it called? But so you can have your deck can be any size beyond that. However, you have to be able to shuffle it unassisted within a reasonable amount of time. So like the biggest deck that you'll probably ever see is probably going to be like 250 ish, and it's only because of one specific card. But TCG Pocket has points instead of prize cards and 20 cards instead of 60. Yeah, I've finally started looking into TCG Pocket the other day, so I'm starting to get into that a little bit. Speaking of bite-sized battles, I guess kind of the game you can play for like 10 minutes, check what's new, and then log off. Yeah, it's super quiet in here, which is kind of upsetting. Open another pack. Um, Helioptile, Nidorana, Seeking, Paris, Sandslash. Oh, that pack sucked. And just frustrations. Sorry. Yeah, the only problem I have with like the premium thing is I am very likely to forget to um, cancel that. So Kyle makes decks that are interesting in like a themed way, um, but they tend to like not end the game, which is frustrating. Um, but like I was saying, like the, the decks Kyle makes tend to at least in my recent experiences with it tend to be like I'm gonna make the game take way longer, but it's just gonna be less likely that I lose. And there's not something inherently wrong with like making the game harder for the other players because I do that all the time in the decks that I like to play. But it's like you need to have an inevitable way of playing the game, or like the decks that I tend to play that are like that. If the game isn't gonna end, um, the things that I use to restrict the other players like they're either gonna kill me in game or out of game. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. But like they'll eliminate me from the game because it's a multiplayer format. It's a 4-player format typically. Uh, or whatever I'm doing, like I can't sustain myself, and so it has to go away. It's like that one duel in Yu-Gi-Oh! With a golden palace and a million effects each turn. Opponent discards half their deck, and Yugi beats it with some bullshit. Can't discard half of one card. Castle can keep its survival cost. Goes okay, good. I mean, there's cards stuff kind of like that. Um, I have a couple stories with Nathaniel of like really close kind of bullshit wins that I've had, but um, drawing 3 cards for 1 mana is just really good. It's just a really good rate. That's all it is. Um, it's just too powerful by itself. Um, the problem is like, well, like Pot of Greed is banned, right? Is Pot of Greed not banned? It's a funny thing of like it's just slightly better than Pot of Greed, but Pot of Greed's banned, right? Or the last time I checked on the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh, Pot of Greed was banned. I'm pretty sure it's banned. Is Pot of Greed banned? Yes, Pot of Greed banned is dual. Pot of Greed is banned in Yu-Gi-Oh, banned in 2005 and has remained banned ever since. Because it's too good. That's why. I think is Gift of Charity also banned? Or is it Gift of Charity? Graceful Charity? Is that the name of the card? Yeah, Graceful Charity is also banned. And that's just like that's strictly worse Pot of Greed, right? I don't know what Professor's research is, but I'll look it up right now. Oh, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. That's it's not a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's a Pokemon card. Okay. Is it banned? So discarding your whole hand though is a cost, right? Like, and I don't know how many supporter cards you're allowed to play in Pokemon in a turn. So like, but like, you can play an unlimited number of Magic cards or an unlimited number of like spells as long as you have mana. Professor's research makes you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. That's what the card does. I just looked it up. We're talking like it's got a picture of whatever the fucking professor from Sword and Shield is. Yeah. Yeah, you can only play 1 supporter card during your turn. So like you can't chain that as easily as you can chain the other cards in like Magic. Magnolia, yeah. Is it not this? Is it different in TCG Pocket? Is it just draw 2 cards? But again, that's the thing. Is like you can only do one. You can only play 1 supporter. Yeah, the printed card is apparently discard your hand, draw 7. Guess to make up for only using 20 card decks, probably. God, Ursula looks so pissed. There's an unlimited number of people showing the code cards. Oh, Paul the frog guy. Favorite Pokemon decks is either Festival Grounds or Lost Zone. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to me. Festival Grounds, as long as the stadium is in play, your Pokemon with the Festival lead ability can attack twice. Interesting. Also, you can put cards in the lost zone, and that adds effects. With 6 cards, Kramer can fire off 110 damage attacks with no energy cost. That's fun. So the guy played when an obnoxious guy called me trash. Hey, the best for probably 6 item. He looks shattered after that. That always feels good. Ever meet an obnoxious guy who thinks he's the shit, then immediately humble him? Love that feeling. I have that feeling. That's something I don't experience as much. It's more that like I usually find people that I have a good interactions with, good conversations with. Show up to a shit unmatched. This guy must be Eric copy paster world team. So GG easy and I scribble him. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, most of the people that I play against, I usually, if I don't know them, um, it's either like a pretty neutral experience or generally positive. If I was attacking mad shit and I beat him without taking any damage whatsoever. There's one of the times that my friends and I were doing like themed teams. We did like Sword and Shield themed teams. I think I've talked about this before. That was when I made like the all fire type team. And then I think that like my friend Will got like shafted both times. It was my friend Will, Kevin, and Nikhil, and we never ended up doing the second one. But like the first time, I got fire, Will got poison, Nikhil. What did Nikhil get? I think Nikhil got psychic, and then Kevin had ground. And it was like, it was doubles, but not VGC. And Kevin just steamrolled all of us with fucking Zygarde. It was pretty bad. And then we like randomly picked which types we got, and then the next time around, Nikhil got steel. This is all essentially to say Will was getting shafted with the typed picks. See, shouldn't win Zakat, basically all you need. Ursula just seems pissed all the time. Pre-nervization was unstoppable. After the Merle's finished. I'd like to see draft league and themed battles. Very fun to watch and play. Yeah, I'll pitch it to the guys. See if they're down. The boys. Be faith that Tony would accidentally cook with a Foy Coco. World Cup would also be really fun. Yeah, I've suggested to some of my friends doing Little Cup stuff before, but they've never seemed particularly interested, which is unfortunate. So I would make the least amount of people angry over it. Like, he'd find the most niche strategy and just run with it. Put Tony in Worlds and he wins with Pichu full confidence. Big George has Riz. Tony's favorite Pokemon is Tyrogue. He'd do his... and he would absolutely just use Tyrogue, whether he won or not. And that's always been the kind of person Tony is. Oops. It does bring up an interesting thing, Francesca. I think you're the only person in chat right now. Yeah. Really want to win a tournament or at least go to Worlds someday with Granja. Or maybe even win. Yeah, just you. Yeah, I is what I'm gonna do after this game. I'd like to go back to Pokemon of some kind. And I wanted your thoughts on what you would like to see. I'm leaning towards a Nuzlocke of some kind or a rental randomizer run of Pokemon Stadium. I'm open to suggestions, but those are the ones I'm leaning towards. I have a mild desire to Nuzlocke a game for every generation of Pokemon. I wouldn't Nuzlocke like Red, Blue, Yellow, but I'd Nuzlocke like Leaf Green and, you know, something like that. Ironmon. Random teams. Ironmon is another thing, is another good suggestion. It would take a long time, but I definitely should look into doing Ironmon as just like a like for the days where I don't know what else to do kind of thing. Tony has mentioned, by the way, that he's Tony said he's just about ready to come back to join us on some of our stream days, so that's nice too. You're no stranger to hard games. Emerald, Elite, Redux. As long as we pay our taxes, are left alone. It's better life for Artemis and Apollo than we had. Tonebone 4 return, or Tonebone 6 return of the Tonebone. Yeah. Your humors might become unbalanced. Just hearing Tony speak is just great. The embodiment of that one uncle that's forever single, but has an infinite well of confidence and humor that you question why. My favorite thing about Tony is like the jokes he makes are for himself, and if anyone else laughs, that's just a bonus. Literally me, yeah. Every time I make a joke, people are like, that's not funny, or... Funny is different to different people. You know, my friends do find my jokes funny, they just don't laugh at them because they're my jokes. Fair enough. They're not paying full attention. Who's talking? They do laugh. That's funny. You ever have that one joke that just killed it? I can't think of one. I don't tend to think I'm very funny. But Yeah, I'm trying to think of what of like a time I like really got people going with a joke. And I can't think of one. Year 8 history, early December, snowing, kid across the room said, "Going to give me 2 inches." I hit him with the obvious joke. Class erupts. Feel my costumes for years. Like even the teacher is laughing her ass off. Okay, I do. That does actually remind me of something, which is when I was a junior in high school. In my junior English class, we were talking about. I don't remember what we were talking about, but at some point the conversation turned to like Santa Claus, and the my teacher was like, we were talking about Santa, and he was like, "Hold on, wait a sec. Nobody here believes in Santa, or everyone." Or she said, "Everyone here knows that Santa's not real, right?" And I was just like, "What?" And that really got people going. That's like the one thing I can remember for sure. I hadn't thought about that day in a long time. But I think it's one of those things where like I don't remember jokes very well. Situational humor thing my friends never get. I really liked my teacher. He was this big guy. He was really nice, but like big guy, overweight. And I'll never forget. He was trying to like talk about. He was trying to like illustrate for us or like show us like what he imagined in this scene. And he's like the doctor's all sitting around like and he goes to like try and cross his legs and he can't. And he's like, God, I gotta go to the gym. And that was really fucking funny. My younger sister Hannah's really funny. She's got like a nice quick wit to her. Most of the jokes I make are like little short quips, and they're usually contextual around like a game or something that we're doing. Hit him with this stinkers sometimes, but it's mostly dad jokes and sarcasm, which is why everyone loved me. My jokes feel like I'm reading off the script of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I always In dulce jubilo, nun singet und seid froh, unsers Herzens Wonne liegt in Praesepio. Just turn that down a little bit. But I love that. That's good animation here. But fuck, now I lost my train of thought. Shit. Oh, I was gonna say, my wife does this thing where she will quote the movie The Birdcage in situations where she feels kind of awkward, where someone says something weird. And there's a scene there where she's like, where they say something about like, they say something anti-Semitic, I think. And I think Robin Williams' character is like, well, you know what they say, where there's sand. It's either anti-Semitic or homophobic. I don't remember what it was. And Robin Williams' character is really uncomfortable. He's like, you know what they say, where there's sand. And Alex will just sometimes just say, where, you know what they say, where there's sand. Which I think is really funny. Talk to Big George again, I guess. It's the only thing to do. I like this Romanian substitute teacher who wouldn't let the football kids go play the game because she didn't have an email about it. So I'm hitting the stink because like more emails and brain cells. Would have upset if you didn't let her know you were gonna murder her family. Oh. Uh. Alright, so he doesn't like the there's like an option that they like, an option that's really middle of the road, and an option that they fucking hate. And I clearly chose the one he hates. I feel like shit's about to hit the fan again in this game. Did you and Tony finish Halo or not? I forgot. Santa Claus? No. my god. It's us. It's us, Francesca. It's Andreas Mahler. Hiding. Dark Souls 3 moment? Yeah. That's another one I was thinking about the other day, is like playing a Soulsborne. And I don't think I will, because I just don't have the patience to learn fights like that. But oh, my boy. Darklink, yeah. Best part of the water temple? Yeah. Yeah, so like our character being alive is the twist that like I knew, which didn't want to say. You can still, I can still see Navi's text. Darklink, conquer yourself. Yeah. I just went to the bath today and achieved the 6th step in Mithrium. Yeah, I know the Latin was useful. Damn it, did I stop mewing after the fire? Yeah. He's conveniently placed lantern. can't go that way. I love the like kind of hunched way that Andreas like walks. So there's an achievement for like getting the apprentice to actually fucking leave. I presume he doesn't die if that happens. You have the Egyptians leaving health packs and full magazines for Lara Croft to find thousands of years from now. Yeah, right? There's nothing else for me to interact with now, right? Could be Francis Drake's compass being ripped apart from 15 years under explosions and gunfire. The ring especially is still working. Is there not? I didn't miss anything, right? Like, this is the only thing I can interact with right now. Oh, there we go. I don't know, charge 2, Nathan gets shot by a deagle, blows up the train, which derails, climbs up the train with a bullet still in him, gets thrown around with the train, which blows up again, and he survives. I've actually seen these in Bath when I was in England. I'm trying to remember who Lorenz was. Oh, Lorenz was the bishop. I didn't, you son of a bitch. I didn't do shit. Come to prison, distract yourself. Yeah. Oops. Digital novel players pressing the one button for 30 hours. Yeah. At least this is like a point and click adventure kind of thing. I have to go all the way back around. God damn. POV, yeah. Yep. You're just tripping balls right now? Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's what I thought. Literally me. Just boring subway surfers, please. So cutting Minecraft parkour. Above the hidden ways. Knowing it. Notice the strongly you discovered them first. Found this place. You. We were joyed to see you. In truth, still be alive. It's a little choice about. Replace your vocal card to chat GPT. And Mars and Diana. The room without tasking their building surface remained. Found time-worn fragments that grass. Statue of Mars, Potter that once looked over the Roman field, stood there, still, headless and nameless. So to believe this is St. Moritz, who was already a legend where they had come from. Found shrines to Sadia and not understanding that she was an aspect of Diana, I believe she was another local saint. Divinity and sainthood exists outside of what people believe. People cannot turn someone into a saint any more than they can unmake the divinity of Christ, but they knew the saints and learned local legends of the region and applied them to the figures found here. No one knew they were the Roman gods because there was no account of what the Romans did, except for the history of Tessier. The history of Tessier was not known then. Perhaps it had not even been written then. Those who knows how long that book had been lost before it made its way to Father Matthias, and you killed him for it. Yes, with poison. No evidence St. Moritz had ever come to Tassing. Here's how to deal with it. People believe in St. Moritz. They believe in the miracles God. With its hands, believe legends of the Saint Satia. She held Moritz and watched over Tassing still. What is in the reliquary? What are the pilgrims coming to see? Literally me committing high treason. Many people who prayed to him, Saint Sadia, and believed that prayers were answered. I mean, for the church that has given people hope. If people have reason to doubt the validity of the saints, they can doubt the church, they doubt the gospel, the word of God. Preserving the legends or saints doesn't interfere with individual volition. Or preserving a lie. My last 5 messages have been absolute nonsense, and you laughed at every single one. It's because they replace your vocal cords with chat GPT. I thought was actually very funny, because part of the reason I'm not talking is because I feel like it's taken so long when I just like keep talking, but I clicked too fast for the last one. its contents. Facing the same danger you saw. Respect given how Father Juno chose from the Abbey, my fears may have been unfounded. Yeah, you think? Yo, what's up, Patrick? We just found out that the murderer all along was the fucking priest. Me being attractive was a crime. I killed someone. The fuck? Then why Otto certainly didn't have any. Can you read? In the end, his murder provoked Peter and the others in destroying the Abbey. Never thought that would happen. I underestimated Peter's anger and the peasants' frustration. But stop him from showing people what he found. Helping dig the foundation of the Wrath House. About the old aqueducts wouldn't cause alarm. A stone head, a missing statue in the meadow. Most likely culprits are rain, floods, time. Blacktail told me the farmers find old tools potting the field every year. Also, what's up, Patrick? It had remained hidden for centuries. It sat in the soil till Otto found it. He's going to show everyone that God had favored the town with his discovery. What Otto could know is that our shrine statue is not St. Moritz, because Otto did not read the words chiseled across the helmet, Mars Pater. But the man he entrusted with his information, the town priest, could. You told him to meet you on St. John's Eve at the Wrath House. Could not let him destroy the town's beliefs, and you had poor Sister Emily write down what you told her were visions she couldn't remember, and deliver them in the dead of night to Guy, Hannah, and Martin, so that one of them would murder Otto, just as someone murdered Lorenz. What about my father? Thus pursued the project with determination of a guilty man doing penance. Kept digging for answers. Tasks passed, kiss rose past. Afraid that sooner or later find out Moritz, Sadia, this place, everything. No, I tried to scare him. First with a note, he ignored it. Thought if I ransacked the workshop, scare him off. Didn't expect him to come down so quickly. It was just an accident. I have neither the means or the will to do so. People, even if I can't stop you from telling the people what I've done, I can stop them from finding this place. So what's up with the airplane food? Oh my gosh. Yo, we gotta get out of here. Funny story, on my flight to London for my honeymoon with my wife, I had God, what did I have? I had some like really spicy like sweet and sour chicken. Fucking destroyed me when we landed in London. Like jet lagged and just obliterated in the restroom for hours. It was terrible. We're actually almost done with this fucking game. There were other Pokemon leaks, right? Like, the one thing you told me about Typhlosion isn't the only thing from the Pokemon leaks. Just keep spamming the same thing. Beta sprites mainly. I thought there was something else that I thought I'd seen, but I don't remember what it is. Patrick doesn't know about the leaks. Take it away, Jack. Patrick didn't respond. Also, I don't want to talk about the leaks. Sorry, doing other stuff. I am aware of the cursed lore. Good? Not. Not good, I assume you mean? Probably be the last letter I send to you. So I'll end it with my love, Esther. Magdalene. I want to let you know that everything is in order. Both is ensured that all of the financial matters will be handled. Money will be forwarded to you via Reichspost as soon as everything's settled. Appreciate it. Thank you for me. Bank. I would be remiss to do so. I don't know your father well, but I know he's well regarded by everyone who spoke of him. It seems like Tassing has lost many things in one man. I'm very sorry. Fortune to you. So it sounds like we sold all our shit. And we're moving. Or I'm moving. Okay. You're really leaving. I miss you all dearly. They can't visit. They're peasants. They can't visit me. Boys will miss you even more. I bet they will. Sister Gertrude. Chamomile, cinnamon, wheat flour. If you're traveling and you're having cramps. Those are just for chamomile and wheat flour. I added the cinnamon for taste. Sorry about what happened to your father. Thanks. Mother Francesca had us all say prayers for him and for you as well when she heard you were leaving. I miss you so much. Miss you too. Alright. Okay, can't go that way. You priest, Sister Amelie. I was not easy on Ots, is what I'm just realizing. Father Elias trying to help me, but I need to learn to rely on my own judgment a little more. It's going to take a long time to atone for my part what happened, perhaps the rest of my life. Yes, but harm was done. Writing an account of what happened here. It's not enough to earn forgiveness. I pray it will at least illuminate this history of great darkness. It's worth remembering. God bless you. God bless and keep you safe on your travels. Alright, can't go farther that way. Up to the mill. LC. Get out before the sound swallows you. God willing, though I'm doubtful. Yo, Andreas looking nice and clean cut. I'm gonna say, look, you took better care of yourself. You took care of yourself quite admirably. How many men can you say survived in a burned out cellar for a better part of 20 years? Subsisting on our discarded rye, no less. Sorry about that. Andreas, we already told you it's alright now. Magdalene. Yes, riding with your flower and mitten wall and then down to Isar. So I see you go. I hope Prague is everything you dreamed about. If it's half the city Esther described it, I'm sure I'll love it. You have a chance to make your life your own there. God knows I've squandered so much of mine. Use the time you have. Use it well. I will. I don't know how, but I will. Wish you could have seen it. He could have seen it, Andreas. I know. All new words of encouragement. Truth, Madeline. I ask you something about the hero before I go. That's supposed to be cover the whole wall. Why'd you leave a section blank? For the future. Unless history is going to stop in passing the moment I roll down the road. Your wagon's about to leave? Oh, it is. Probably feels like enough time. Thank you for everything you did for me and my family. God bless you, Andreas Muller. So this for as long as you need. Besides, can't leave yet. Children require your expertise. Up on the middle walkway. Supper ready when you're done. Always welcome in our home. Thank you. Oh, up to the windmill platform. This is cute. You'd think there'd be like a little music here and not just the sound of the windmill creaking, but... And then they were gone. The fuck? That's the first. So this is the mural and how it turned out. Kind of like the boring first people who like. It was described as like the boring mural, which is like just, you know, the people who used to live there. I don't remember what this one was. Oh, it was like the founding of the thing, I think. Founding of the Abbey. There it's like the Christian pilgrims like arriving. I don't remember which. I don't remember which choices I made. Everything after the revolt. And then the Mithraeum church collapse thing. Weird family tree thing, I guess. I don't know. It's a family tree going from the bottom up, which is interesting. Yeah, Ursula gets burned at the stake for being a witch, which sucks. because of a choice we made in Act 1. So that sucks. Bummer. New Andreas Muller. Or new Andreas. This is one where, like, I do kind of want to play this again. It's interesting to me how different the, like, because this is clearly, like, rendered in a 3D space for this. It makes it look so different than the rest of this. Cool. Oh, I can actually just skip it instead of speeding it up. Cool. Now what? Now what do I do? Because we got time. Well, the stream's almost been going for 3 hours. It's probably not a bad place to stop instead of just starting something else for a little bit. So I think we'll do that. I'll be live tomorrow. And I think we will do the Pokemon Stadium rental randomizer stuff. So look forward to that, I guess. GG, thanks, Patrick. Yo, rental rando? Yeah. So I'll get that stuff ready for tomorrow. And yeah. We'll be all set to go. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And then I'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a good rest of your day.